Some AI assistance when ordering food. That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from ConverseNow is VP of Marketing and Customer Experience, Ben Brown. Hi, Ben.
Fred, hey, it is great to be on. I appreciate your having me on the show.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Tell us a bit of background, first of all, about the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So ConverseNow was founded in 2018, quote unquote, before AI was cool. And the company found its niche in working with restaurants relatively early on. We developed a best-in-class virtual assistant that went live at the beginning of 2020, right in the throes of the pandemic. So for us, timing was quite fortuitous. But what we have is an AI-powered virtual ordering assistant that automates drive-through and phone orders for leading restaurant chains. So from a guest experience, if you're, let's say, calling a Domino's Pizza to place an order, you would speak to a virtual assistant who would take your order in the same way that the person would. You would have a natural, free-flowing conversation where you can ask questions, you can change your mind, you can talk to people in the background, you can ask about promos and specials, and perhaps even hidden menu items. And from there, the virtual assistant just jots everything down. It reviews your order with you, and then it sends that order up to the cloud, which goes straight to a restaurant's point of sale or POS system.
Introducing ConverseNow, voice AI shaping the future of restaurants. Our virtual assistants automate drive-through and phone orders, handling limitless conversations at once with remarkable accuracy. Guests place their orders with a virtual assistant exactly as they would with a regular team member. Our system sends that order information to the cloud, which then goes straight to your POS. Staff get to focus on production, nearly doubling peak hour volume. Watch sales soar from capturing new orders and boosting average ticket with automated upsell.
Well, you've announced some new technology that you're integrating into your system. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So ChatGPT has become a household name, not just in the AI world, but really across the consumer landscape. Generative AI, which is the technology that powers ChatGPT, Google Bard, and related platforms, is an excellent tool for AI companies like us to layer onto our pre-existing technology. So essentially, let's go back to ConverseNow's original AI, where we have a team of engineers that predict a number of different ways that someone can order a pizza, or someone could order a sandwich, or tacos, or burgers, what have you. There are just so many iterations that a guest can have in placing their food order. So it's on our team to monitor each of those conversations and allow our AI to better learn from the conversations it processes. Well, now you add generative AI into the mix. So we've equipped our AI with ChatGPT and Google Bard, really taking the best of both worlds. What that does is it completely supercharges the process. So this previously manual process of trying to conceptualize different ways that guests could order food for the AI to learn and to hit the ground running with a new customer, well, generative AI generates thousands, millions of potential iterations of ways that guests can process these conversations, and it pre-trains our AI using that data. So it just allows us to, be several steps ahead of where we would otherwise be. And in turn, it also accelerates the learning process for AI, so that this upward spiral of the more conversations that AI processes, the better it gets. Well, generative AI, allows that to take place at an even more rapid rate. So in essence, we created the base technology that's absolutely necessary for the way that ConverseNow processes food ordering. And this generative AI with ChatGPT and Bard, those are incredibly valuable add-ons that allows our product to perform better, faster, stronger.
And I suppose drive-through ordering has become, I guess, the target of some legendary comic scenes and things. Are you able to eliminate a lot of those issues that customers run into?
So a big problem that not just us, but most AI companies face are the legacy automated systems that have existed for many years, that have probably made you and me and many viewers of this broadcast pull their hair out because of how frustrating it is to deal with an automated system. The technology has come such a long way. It is light years ahead of what most people are used to the point where it really does feel like talking to a person. Oftentimes, we will have guests comment to physical staff, "Oh, I really like the person that took my order. This is a really good hire that you made." To which the staff has a good laugh to say, "Oh, like that was AI. That wasn't a person." So what our AI does is, in its ideal environment, it takes orders with a level of accuracy that matches or exceeds that of physical team members. So it really does eliminate a lot of that drama. And in the case of phone ordering, right, you're no longer waiting on hold because AI can process limitless calls at once. There's no waiting for a phone line to open up, or when it does, having a really rushed conversation with someone who needs to get back to the make line. So it does resolve a lot of the drama that you might otherwise speak of.
And I assume there's an option for a human to pick up if needed, like if a finicky customer says, "Are your mushrooms fresh or canned," or something like that.
You're absolutely right. We pride ourselves in always giving a guest the option to speak with a live person if they want to. We're fully aware that not everyone is eager to embrace AI, at least at this moment, and that there's just going to be an adoption curve, right, where AI is on its way to becoming a mainstream method of food ordering. We're not there yet with everyone. What we will say is that more than 80% of our of the guests that we end up serving do initiate their conversations with AI. So it's a very strong adoption rate, but we do have the guest as that number one priority. And we always want to make sure that they're happy, and giving them the option to talk to a person is a necessary ingredient to keeping them happy.
So step us through how this would work. Are we talking about everything being called in? Are we talking about a screen or at a restaurant? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so our AI works with a restaurant's existing operation and tech stack. So in the case of a drive-through customer, we integrate directly with the leading drive-through hardware providers that serve the overwhelming majority of drive-throughs across the country. So it's just essentially like a plugin, if you will, that goes into the existing drive-through system. So it's the same ordering experience that you have at your favorite restaurants. It's just that there's not a person who's taking your order. It's the virtual assistant. Those different restaurants will, of course, have different ordering posts. Some will have really fancy LED screens, and we do integrate with that. Some will not. It will just simply be a speaker where the AI will be speaking through that post. So really from a drive-through setting, just imagine the scenario where you're typically ordering food and it's the exact same thing. We're not asking anyone to deviate from their day to day, whether it's on the consumer's end or on the restaurant's end. From the phone perspective, visually, it's just talking into a phone, right? But you're speaking with a virtual assistant. And in many cases, I know I brought up the example of people thinking that it was an actual person. In many cases, the virtual assistant will say something like, "Hi, I'm Aiden, your virtual ordering assistant. What can I do to get you started?" So that the customer doesn't feel like they're questioning themselves on whether or not they're actually talking to a person.
Can you bring this to the dining in scenario as well, or are you bringing it?
Yes.
So instead of a server coming up to the table, could there be a virtual assistant at the table to take the order?
Yes, that's a really good question, Fred. And the short answer is we absolutely have that capability. We are not actively working with any full service concepts for their dine-in guests. And the reason being is that we really want to own the categories of dining that we're working on right now. We want to ensure that every guest that we serve is happy, that every team member working in the restaurants that we work with feels supported, and that AI is providing significant benefit to them. And we're doing a pretty good job of it. But we don't want to overextend ourselves before we really do own those categories. Really having that focus has allowed us to become the largest voice AI company for restaurants. We're live in almost 2,000 stores. And our next closest competitor, well, they don't have nearly that same number. So, we're glad to be in a place we are. And that's just given us more data that we can process, because the more stores we work with, the more conversations we process, the better our AI gets. And going back to having generative AI into the equation, it just creates this rate of acceleration that is very difficult to match.
And if I run a restaurant or a franchise, tell me why I should do this. What is it going to mean for my business?
Yeah, it's we look through the operator's perspective, on a multiple times a day basis. And what we're really proud of is creating this win-win-win situation where we create a win for the guest, a win for the restaurant staff, and a win for the owners, franchisees, operators. From a guest perspective, right? Guests, they don't have to wait on hold on the phone. Drive-through lines could be shorter. They're getting their orders placed accurately. They can take all the time they want instead of feeling rushed. And they're just given a really enjoyable experience. AI never has a bad day. It's never going to give someone attitude. And, you might not have incidents where, AI might be losing their composure in the way that, a TikTok team member might. From a staff perspective, it goes without saying that working in a restaurant is a very, very high pressure, difficult thing to do where staff are juggling multiple tasks at once. And what AI does is it lifts a huge weight off their shoulders, because most restaurants do not have a designated order taker at the phone or over the drive-through. They're taking orders while they're making burgers or assembling sandwiches or what have you. So when the AI takes the order, these people can focus on making orders instead of taking them. So it just gives them more time back in the day to really, one, increase productivity, and two, relieve stress. So a number of the restaurants we work with, they're seeing higher retention. People are staying in their jobs longer because they're just happier. They have less stress. Franchisees have reported to us that they're getting staff that are coming from stores that don't use AI to work for them because they do have AI, and they're getting paid the same amount of money to do an easier job. And then for the owners operators, we do increase average tickets. Our AI upsells every time, tastefully so, and it increases that average ticket. Because staff are more productive, it allows peak hour volume to increase. So orders per labor hour could as much as double during some of these critical peak hours, because staff are spending less time leaving the make line to answer the phone or to fill the drive-through order. So it's really that threefold scenario that we seek to solve with our service. And it's been really nice being able to support restaurants, as they begin to adopt our product.
So what is the model? Is this a subscription that restaurant owners would pay for, or how does it work?
We match really the individual restaurant's business model. So we have our model ranges based on the concept, whether they're full service or a quick service. It ranges based on just the restaurant's general preferences. So in some cases, we'll take a nominal commission off of each order, which doesn't even hold a candle to what some of the delivery services would otherwise charge. In other cases, it's a flat fee per order. And then in some cases, it just depends on the scope of how we take non-orders, because our AI does process non-order calls as well, whether someone is calling to check if a restaurant's open or if certain, dishes have certain ingredients, etc. So we can field those questions as well. And just depending on how deep restaurants want to go, we work out a pricing plan to field their scope of non-orders. So the short answer is that it really depends. But as is the case with integrating directly into a restaurant's existing technology and operation. We want to create a best fit for each of the restaurants that we work with.
You know, some of the stories about AI have featured aspects like, it tends to make things up. So it's not going to give me an ostrich burger or something or order one off the top of its head, I assume.
Yeah, the term that you're probably referencing is hallucination, which is when AI just makes up misinformation. And no, our AI does not hallucinate, so to speak. If someone, let's say that you were ordering a Domino's pizza and you wanted to order a double bacon cheeseburger, no Domino's that I know of makes a double bacon cheeseburger. So the AI will simply say, that's not an available option, or let me connect you with a team member, right? If it's not going to process the order. So you're not going to be thrown for a loop, even if you try to throw AI for a loop.
Terrific. For more info, where do we go, Ben?
Yeah, so for more info, just visit our website. We can be reached at ConverseNow.ai. And you'll be able to get some, a great walkthrough of, what we do, how it works, and really adding some color to the conversation that we've had today.
And going forward, looking into a crystal ball here, I mean, like you said, you've been at it for a little while, but we've really just gotten going, it seems, in the last year with this. How do you see this changing the industry?
Oh, absolutely. The explosion of ChatGPT and generative AI technology has really put AI on the global radar, not just as a theoretical technology, but as a practical technology that has already made an impact on many people's day-to-day lives. In the restaurant world, virtually every major restaurant brand is exploring AI in one way or another. And it is a matter of time before AI becomes the default method to order food. Those who are really seeking the ordering experience with a physical person, I would think will always have that option. But in the same way that online ordering, right, and in-app ordering has taken off as of recent, that AI really is that next stage that will give guests a really good integrated experience that combines the high-touch nature of hospitality with the efficiency and scalability of technology.
Terrific. Again, it's ConverseNow.ai. Ben Brown, thanks for spending time with us.
My pleasure, Fred. Thank you for having me.